What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of TownHall Apex, the Apex Legends podcast, launching now. My name is SolidJake. I'm here with Zoia and Kala to discuss this brand new, beautiful game that has surprised us, kind of just with this instant launch. Kind of a cool thing they did with the launch. We'll talk about that in a minute. Zoia, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and your background?
Hi, I'm Zoia. I've been involved in esports since about 2010 when I got involved with StarCraft 2. Since then, I've worked over several different titles for Blizzard and Amazon games, just doing everything imaginable. Writing, editing, traveling as a manager, coach, jack of all trades, master of none. So that's me.
Kala.
Hey everybody, I am a full-time streamer. I play Apex Legends. I used to play Heroes of the Storm. I come from the HGC, which is Blizzard's league production that recently got cut. Yeah, and I've basically been streaming in the esports scene for probably the past 3 or 4 years, so not quite as long. But yeah, I'm absolutely in love with this game, and I'm really excited to talk about it.
Similar background for me. I know these goobers from Heroes, and we've all been stranded, and we found ourselves a beautiful game. It actually is. We're lucky to have a game that we can fall in love with, like, sincerely. Because I told myself I have no interest in esports. There's no games that I care about. When Heroes was dead, I'm done. I'm just gonna go, create other content. But this game is actually sincerely awesome. But it's not just my interest in esports. I just like playing with friends. I think it's super fun. I think it could make a good esport. And those are some of the things we're going to talk about. The general gameplay of Apex Legends, the map itself, some of our favorite places to get loot, maybe some tips and tricks across the map of some cool things that we figured out. And, the topic of Apex esports. We look at other titles like PUBG. They've been running tournaments forever, and it's been janky. It's been questionable. Fortnite, millions of dollars being thrown at that game for their esports scene. Is it 100 million? I don't even know because I don't really follow Fortnite. Not my game. Also, never something I've considered an esport I want to watch. So, yes, that's a topic that we are definitely going to enjoy diving into a bit later. But yeah, general impressions when they kind of were announcing this game. They did that. Hey, guess what? The game is now live. This is a tactic that we've seen done in hardware. Apple's been like, by the way, you can pre-order it now. It'll be out next week. We've seen companies do similar things, but I don't remember if any game has ever done that.
It's something I've always wanted to happen. I keep just saying, wouldn't it be cool if they just released this game today? Like, why not? Like, there doesn't need to be this. People used to want to think about this ramp technique where you're ramping up to the launch, you keep building up the hype and the hype and the hype, and it's at this peak, and then there's bugs and server issues, and your hype was up here and now you're down here, and the game fucking sucks. So yeah, it's smart. There was no preemptive hype. People weren't like, "Ooh, Destiny 2 remake, hell yeah," or something, or not Destiny 2, whatever this game was based off of.
Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2. I know I just made so many Titanfall fans so upset with that. But
true.
It was smart. There was no unnecessary hype for it. We had no expectations set. Just a good game releasing.
Dude, and it worked. That was the thing. Like, there was some server issues and some crashing and a little bit of problems, but the game, it
there have
worked
been a lot of bugs
so well. Like, that's the thing. There's so many games that release nowadays that it's like they'll release pre-alpha and then they'll release a beta program or something like that, and they'll have all of these problems. None of them will get fixed upon release, and then they still release the game. But this game, just none of that. It just no ramp up, no hype up. They released it and it worked so damn well right out of the gates.
Which is, interesting because obviously the success isn't just because it was a hype, whatever, spontaneous launch. The game is sincerely good and it works, like you said. Those are the most important things. But I'm curious if the lack of a burden of a release date was a big part of the game's polish. Because it does feel really good.
Well, we don't know that there wasn't a release date. They could have had an internal release date and internal deadlines that they had to meet. Just because they didn't put anything publicly doesn't mean that they weren't, come on, we gotta get this game out.
This is EA
you don't
we're
necessarily
talking
know
about.
that, but there is a chance that is the case, and I think that is the assumption.
The only thing we really know is that they had a bunch of top tier personalities play the game for like I think months beforehand, or at least a month under NDA. Like a lot of the top streamers were playing the game a whole bunch, and apparently a lot of their suggestions went through, and yeah, so we saw the game see a lot of success, I would assume, through that playtesting as well, which is really cool.
Yeah,
it's neat.
We've seen top Fortnite players and top Black Ops players basically comment how this game has better balance at launch than both of those titles have, even after tons of feedback. We've seen Fortnite changes come in, and granted, these could have been in the pipeline based on community feedback. Now that the pressure is on, right? Things have been changing and so on. Now that they're being pressured by Apex Legends, which is the new hot thing. And I guess the big thing to really consider is, like, you know, Zoia, you said it to me perfectly, right? Black Ops came out, it was the top dog, right? For a solid week, it was, you know, the hot thing, and then it fell off. And will this be able to challenge the other BRs, namely Fortnite, long term? How do you feel about that, Kala?
I think that this game definitely has the opportunity to challenge those games long term, just because it's a game that's a lot easier for people to just pick up and play, and it's free. The class system makes it so that you don't need to be a FPS god in order to win games. Like, I straight up think that if you just play as a tight team, you can win games pretty easily. But if you say that about PUBG, it's basically impossible. You have to play a certain way to win in PUBG, and you actually have to have some FPS experience in order to do something, like, or else it's just going to be so impossible to win. But this game has so many different elements to it. I think that it's going to be easier for the general person to pick up and play. Also, just the ability to jump into a game super quickly makes it really easy for people to just pick up the game and find a lot of success with it. Sorry, I'm jumbling my words, but
no, it's fine.
Everything about this game is so easy for people to do. Everything. Like, that's why I think it's going to be able to challenge those top games.
I agree. It's got a very low skill ceiling when it comes to the difficulty of the other BRs. The first time I played it, I immediately thought it was like Borderlands, just like an arcade type shooter. It's not a complex game. You can dive into it very easily, and that's what makes its potential.
It does feel like the better team is going to always win, though. Like you say, the skill ceiling's lower, but we've seen a lot of consistent wins from players like Shroud being able to always win, being able to outperform.
Because they're that good at aiming, so there's no degree of, bullet drop, RNG with the spray. So when I say the skill ceiling is lower, yes, it is much lower. It is very easy to shoot someone in this game. So if you have good aim, if you can track someone, not going to be hard for you to kill someone. Eventually, it doesn't matter how much better Shroud is than someone. If someone, once you reach that skill ceiling, we'll have to see when we get to the actual good players versus good players. Right now, it's hard to tell with pub stomps, though. Like, who actually contests these top players like Shroud?
I need to mute
in their games. Like, you rarely see a close fight. It's always just a slaughter fest.
Yeah. That's a good point. So one thing, Kala, that you mentioned is you said that you think that the characters take a bit of the burden away from the actual gunplay in terms of like being able to give you different options and stuff. How much do you think that actually is? Because it's not like your healers aren't Mercy or Ana, where they're just throwing heals at you. They have one active ability on a fairly long cooldown, and then they have an ultimate that provides armor and such. It's cool, but I feel like I don't feel like it's a huge metric. I don't feel like you need to play a support, a tank, and a DPS, right?
Yeah.
It's not Overwatch.
I think with the current classes, that's true. As they release more and more legends, that might change depending on obviously the abilities that get introduced into the game. But what I do mean by it, I don't think that the class abilities have incredible impact on the game. I think they have a degree of impact, but I think that impact is greater to players that aren't as good at the first-person shooter mechanics. So I think that a group of below average players can drop a Lifeline, a Bangalore, Bloodhound, and just play super safely the whole game. Just drop on the outskirts of the map, collect all their loot, get to the very end of the game, see two other teams fighting each other. There's only 3 squads left remaining, and pop all their ults and win the game that way. And they'll just have such a significant advantage because you smoke bomb and then use the Bloodhound ult and then just cleave everybody. Stuff like that, I think, is going to make it so that players who aren't as good at FPS games will be able to find wins where in other BRs they would find losses.
I disagree, though. I definitely think the classes are not completely balanced right now, and I think Lifeline is the biggest example of that being the case. She's
Just the
busted.
res.
She is
She's
like, if
so
you're going
good.
to be competing at a top level, she is. She will be in every single team.
Yeah.
So 100% of the
I'd agree with
say
that.
Lifeline is 100% busted. Her res alone makes her that good. That
Right.
res
Is really
is
good.
absurd, and her
like-
Q. The heal, not having to waste any meds when you don't really have them. I mean, there's been situations where you do not have med kits after like a 5 to 10 minute fight of just strings of people coming in. You go through to loot everyone, not enough med kits to heal everybody up. So that Q can save your life. Or if you get caught into the storm early on, you're being as greedy as possible. You want to loot relay in the top right corner and never leave there. We're going to take some circle damage. Don't matter. We got Lifeline.
See,
So
like,
I definitely think there is a little bit of a balance issue with the classes, and it can lead to something extreme long term. But right now, it's fine.
in the tournament that we saw, it was basically everyone just running damage classes, and that's it. Like they would run Wraith, Bloodhound, and Bangalore basically just try to get as many kills as possible. And I can't wait to see how teams play when it's an actual coordinated 3v3 effort. If it's a whole bunch of really, really good squads in the same match, I want to see how it changes compositions. I don't think people will be running those triple damage either. I completely agree with you. I actually think that Gibraltar might even see more success. I know he's like a little bit troll right now, but having the bubble to stop airstrikes and stuff like that can be so huge in 3v3s.
So good.
Like, that's why I'm so excited to see what teams run when it's actually, good players against other good players.
Yeah, that's what I want to see, because this recent tournament didn't really showcase that. And I don't watch streams all the time. There might be YouTube VODs of like two good squads going off against each other, but I haven't seen them yet. That is where there is the potential with this game, especially with more heroes coming out. I believe there's information about 2 heroes that have already been like hinted at in the game: a female robot and some dude that there's a drawing of on one wall. And I think that it's hinted that they're coming with the battle pass as well as new guns and stuff. So we're going to be constantly seeing the game evolving. And the bigger player pool or hero pool could be really awesome then, because we'll see a lot of diversity in comps. But right now, I feel if you were to go into a tournament right now, you may see a lot of the same comp over and over.
I'm really sad that I
Like
can't.
old Overwatch syndrome.
Yeah.
Very much so.
And
But
I think
like Kala says, the abilities aren't super important. So whether you are seeing the same comp over and over again, I don't think that's horrible for the game. It wouldn't be like Overwatch boring, where it's like you're seeing again another Reinhardt. Everyone's still using the same guns and ways to kill each other, so I think it'd be fine.
I can't find a 1080p version of the roadmap, but the Battle Pass they did say is going to launch in March, and the Battle Pass is going to include, I think they said new characters, 2 of them. They said,
well, there's been 2 datum. I don't know if they hinted at that there was 2 with the Battle Pass, but we've seen 2 characters so far.
Okay. But yeah, they basically have plans for Season 1 in March, and then Season 2 is going to be June, and Season 3 in September. And, each of these will bring new guns. They'll bring new cosmetics, new characters, potentially. And, they did talk about eventually maybe another map. That's something that I don't necessarily know that I want them to do, even especially not for anytime soon, because that's one thing that I really disliked that PUBG did. I felt like once they started adding more maps, it made the game worse personally. Unless, of course, they were to make, like, say, a solo queue map. That's a little bit different and designed for solo queue that you can choose to play that's faster paced. Then if they go that direction and they want to make it basically a different mode, sure, that's cool. They did say solo queue and duo queue is going to be a thing. But they didn't say when.
I'm in no rush for a new map. So
yeah.
If we got a new one, cool. But I like the way Fortnite has handled a lot of things. You can say what you want about the game itself, but they're the ones who push the battle pass to the forefront of the free-to-play market right now. I mean, every single game rocks battle passes right now, not just BRs. That was really pushed through by Fortnite. And then I love how they've just been adjusting their current map. Because we saw what happened with PUBG with their new maps. A lot of them were disliked. It made older ones not want to be played anymore. And it led to a lot of awkward situations long term. And we've seen across several of the games in the past how map pools and map discussions can lead to awkward situations. I like the idea of one map always being modified, because that's just
Well, like
It's easier not to divide your community.
Ring of Elysium released a new map, and basically if you don't know what that is, it's a Chinese. It's made by Tencent. It's like Chinese PUBG basically. Game functions like PUBG, a little bit faster, a little bit smoother, but it was a snow map where there were snowboards, gliders, and like a rappel cable, not quite a grapple. They basically removed the map, added a new map, and now it's bikes. And it's like volcano themed, but frankly, we don't want to learn a new map in that game. So then Apex came out, so the game's just dead to me. So I think that's well, I mean, frankly, my squad.
Ring of Elysium is a very fun game.
It is fun.
Just throw it out there.
It is very. It's not. No, I think it's.
And I love the new map. The new map is 800 times better than the old map.
I just really fell in love with the snow map. I don't know. I played a lot of it.
The bikes are OP.
The bikes are fun. The new vehicles are fun. But that is a fun VR.
Apex's map though. Talking about it,
about.
I feel like 90% of the time, okay, I'll like land in a certain area and there's a certain path off of that area that I'll like to run. But then maybe for the next 5 or 6 drops, I drop in similar places. But then I feel like once I land somewhere completely different, it just feels like a different map. Sometimes you don't even play anywhere in the same locations. I like the fact that there's so many different looking places. Like, there's the swamp, there's desert areas, like there's all different types of biomes. So it feels like the map feels bigger than it actually is to me.
It reminds me of the Realm Royale map. I don't know if you played that game, Call.
That map is very similar. I played a few rounds of it. That's a good point. But it never feels like I'm playing the same map over and over. And even when I do, there's just so much going on and so much to do. Like if you take a fight at bridges, man, it doesn't matter that you're on the same map. There's just so much stuff going on everywhere, and it's so interesting every time.
Yeah, and
so
the circle,
far, it's only been a week, but
yeah, it's only been a week. We have to keep that in mind. But the circle feels good too. It always puts you into different locations. I feel like never ending in the same exact spot every single time. So it seems like there's a little bit more variable with that, but the map forces you to go different places. The boat route at the beginning forces you to land different places. So you are forced to, kind of go. I mean, you can try and land in the same spot every time, which sometimes some of my squads do. But, there's a lot to see on the map. And again, it's still very new, but I am enjoying the hell out of the map. I agree.
It's very fun. The map in general. Like, Zoia, you showed me this route right here. You like to land here and then run up along the road, go to artillery, and that's just really fun because people are always going to drop at artillery, go for the epic gear pretty much right out of the gates.
I go in there because you can go anywhere from there, not just artillery. You can go relay, you can go wetlands.
You get to choose your path based on a number of variables, but I really like that kind of play because with a squad, like, you're basically getting a little bit of loot and immediately going into a firefight and trying to overwhelm another squad or two and then take their loot. And it just feels like a really fun form of gameplay. And
I think for kills, man.
I think one thing that this game has done super well is just the fact that the revive system exists. You can take more early game risks. You can decide that you just want to go straight into an early game fight, overwhelm a squad, maybe lose a teammate or two, but bring them back in. And, that's something that I really enjoy about the game and the map. I think that's part of the map too, and the design.
I agree and I disagree at the same time. I feel like the reses assist with that, but I feel like the reason early game aggression works in this game is 100% because of the downtime between games. You lose a game instantly, guess what? You're in the next one within 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
It's true.
You're not in the lobby in 2 minutes. You're in the next game in 2 minutes.
That's true.
That is what really pushes the early game aggression.
On top of that too, excuse me, it seems like no matter what fights you take at any point during the game, you always trade up on resources. So like there's no fight that you take where you finish the fight and you're like, wow, I'm now down so many shield cells or I'm down so much ammo. Every fight you take, you're up resources. So it's always your advantage to take fights and win fights. And on top of the getting back into the game immediately, it just makes it so easy. I posted a thread on Reddit a couple days ago on the Apex Reddit, and all it was, thank God that I don't have to get punched in the face for 60 seconds before getting into a game every single time. And it had like thousands of upvotes and hundreds of comments. Like, people agree with that. They hated sitting
in the lobby, dude.
The lobby is
It's
great,
so
man.
stupid.
And
You just
you're
hear scuffed
using the
mics
load
and-
time drafting with your like when you're drafting, you're loading in the game. That's what's so
Yep.
brilliant about it. So
Yeah.
you're not wasting any time. You're not loading the game, then doing the draft, and figuring out where you. It's like all
And dude,
happening.
it feels epic.
simultaneously.
It feels epic. And then you get
Yeah, I love it.
the super loud song. Wow.
No,
It's
I
amazing.
think that's
kills me every time.
I think that was a great way to praise it. That you trade up on resources, no matter, because I say this a lot to my friends. Like, I don't have enough ammo for them. Like, you do. We are going to win the fight, and then we're going to get their ammo. We're
Yeah.
taking their ammo. We're not out of ammo. We're going to go kill them and get theirs. It's fine.
And you're always up.
Always up.
Every time.
Every time. That's 100%. Like 99% of the time, you are up after a fight. If you won the fight and you have your teammate up, you go loot all those corpses, and you are good to go.
Yeah. I love that.
That is
Agreed.
a very, very good point to make.
It's fluid, promotes aggression, and it's very fast. And that's that's one of the things that I think could be good for esports, right? The fact that the game promotes aggression. It does not promote super campy play in most cases. Granted, there are going to be situations where you have people trying to run caustic, trying to hole up in a house, and they're just going to sit there and cheese you essentially, if they can. But that's only going to be promoted in certain areas like bunker, or maybe in a late game ring situation where they control a house.
Yeah, well, I don't like those characters in general because their hitbox is so big. So, I mean, I love going up against Caustics and Gibraltars. They're
Me
the
too.
easiest targets to kill in the game. They're
Yeah.
so fat. So, please.
Pathfinder's pretty big too.
Yeah.
Pathfinder is also very easy. If I got a Peacekeeper versus a Pathfinder, he's dead.
Yeah,
That target's the easiest to just chest blast. But so, yeah, you can play Caustic and cheese me. That's fine. I'll take the free hitbox.
Caustic, man. BBJ plays Caustic, unironically, and I'm like, dude, you really gotta stop this. It's getting to the point of trolling now. But
Once
yeah,
people have realized you can shoot the bottom of the mine to get rid of it.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah, the red circle underneath.
You shoot
That's
it,
cool.
and the mine breaks and doesn't go off. So once you realize you can get rid of the mines, why
And
play him?
People
Yeah.
knowing that you can switch to melee and break down doors too when you're locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like
So many
that.
people didn't know that either, and it's like just
Grenades
people
break 'em
hinting
too,
against
so.
Caustic.
Yeah.
I saw that you could even shoot the handle of a door to open it.
See,
Yeah.
like, there's so much cool stuff about this game, man. It's so damn interesting.
It's really well done. And it's something we haven't touched on. It runs so well. Oh, I love a BR that I get good frames on, because
Mhm.
that doesn't happen. There's no BR that launches and has good frames, and this one was great.
It's
on
processor heavy, so it's a very hard game to stream. I know a lot of people have struggled with that because it's. But even World of Warcraft, which is an old game, is a hard game to stream because it's processor heavy. So, but yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't
Playing
give
the
a shit
game
about you
feels
streamers,
good.
though.
Um,
0.1% don't matter.
Yeah. The the servers aren't perfect. I still get like sluggish servers where I feel like I'm running in mud sometimes. I don't know if you guys
I don't-
experience that.
Oh yeah,
I don't
sometimes.
think I've had that. I have the issue where it's hard to get into games sometimes.
Huh.
Where
Yeah.
people get kicked out of the party, or like they won't load into the character select, but they'll still kind of be there. Those are the
Had that
bugs
happen
I
too.
see a lot.
I get
Jake,
games
the
where
one-
I'm truly rubber banding. Like my character's like jiggling forward and back as I'm trying to run. It's really weird.
There's a new bug that I think came with this new patch that if you are using your knockdown shield, that happened to me twice last night, and they break the knockdown shield, but you get up, your movement speed is trapped at the speed you were
Oh, yeah,
when
yeah,
you were
yeah.
using the knockdown shield. And there's only a few ways you can get rid of it. I think one of them is to use a grapple, and I think someone told me another one, but yeah, I was just like stuck in the gas, and I was crawling at like even standing up, couldn't sprint. My Wraith Q wasn't getting me out of it, so
Some
it's a new
people I
game.
talked to had that problem too. And then the same one that you had, Jake, it's like you have peanut butter stuck to your feet the whole time, like in the beginning, basically,
Yeah.
of a drop, and everything's slow. But all the characters are slow, but your aiming is always the same. So if you have a gun over someone else, you just get 3 headshots over and over. Like I've made some pretty silly plays during the lag, and I'm not proud of it, but still
new
worth.
game. That's to be expected.
Yeah.
So.
A new game with 25 million plus players. So if they're going to have server inconsistency like 1 out of 20 times, that's fine with me. Okay.
That's crazy. That's so many players. Holy cow.
One topic I had written here to talk about was the lack of fall damage, but I don't even know if that's worth discussing. It just feels better.
We can discuss it. Don't change it.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Don't change it.
I love it.
There's nothing great. This is why I started to love Ring of Elysium, is because it takes away the realism aspect. You don't have to worry. Like, yes, you can't swap your gun on the ground and immediately change all the add-ons. You have to manually do it. I don't want to do that, PUBG. I want to swap my gun and immediately have all those add-ons swap over. That was the first thing that Ring of Elysium introduced to me that I was like, maybe realism isn't great. Yeah. No, I don't want realism. I don't want to worry about fall damage. I don't worry about all this nonsense. I don't want to worry about having to, these guns shouldn't have these ammo types, or these guns shouldn't be able to use these kind of add-ons. I want everything to be easy. I don't want it to be complicated. It doesn't need to have this insane depth. Yeah. Streamline it. And that's what this game did. Everything is fast food and flood.
Give me light attachments, give me heavy attachments, and that's it. Like, I'm not interested.
Everything's color coded.
Yeah, it's so well
light, done greens for the heavy. Yeah, energy is like a darker green. Like, you have the shotguns are red. It's perfect. Everything is like you're wanting to get your sister to play a game with you, but
exactly.
It's designed for everyone at the same time.
It just add the simplicity. Like, we were circle back to our beginning points. It just makes it so easy for people to pick up and play and enjoy. There's so many people that I'm talking to that have never played BRs or first-person shooters before, and they jump in and they're like, "Wait, I understand this. I just get this game. It's so intuitive. Everything about it."
Yep.
So
no, they'll keep fall damage the way it is, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Another thing that's quite different in this game is just the time to kill. In general, seems to be a lot longer than other BRs. Downing someone, especially late game, if they've got epic or legendary armor, can feel really tough. And the gunfights tend to be fairly drawn out, where third partying becomes a pretty common situation, where the gunfight's happening, a third group comes in, a fourth group comes in, so on and so forth. Personally, I'm a big fan of this. I think the time to kill feels great. I think it feels like there's a lot of strategy and opportunity to cast your abilities and feel like you can think about it, find your flank, do something cool. So how do you feel about it?
I like it. I think it's in a good place right now. There's a state of progression in the game where when you're fighting people early on and you see them with no armor and no white armor, things feel easier. But when you're getting to the late game, when the match has progressed 20 minutes, like in any game, there should feel a state of progression. You should be stronger and your opponent should be stronger. I think that feels good. I don't have an issue with the time to kill, even when there's insane fights going on. That's what makes the fight so insane. When there's 4 squads in one area, they're not dying instantly, even with 4 squads in the area. It's not an instant fight's over in 15 seconds. Who came out on top? I think the time to kill is in a great spot. I don't know if I would want to nerf it even like a slight amount. I think I really like it right now.
I agree. I want it to stay the exact same. I don't know. It just feels right. I don't gain any value from just getting one headshot with my wingman and dropping someone. Like, that's not interesting to me. What's interesting to me is seeing one person peek and then coordinating with my team to focus fire on one guy to down him and then rush 3v2. Like, to me, that is so much more interesting. And even from like a viewership perspective, I think that's way better. And as a player, you play another BR like PUBG or something like that. You get to the late game and you just get one tapped by a gun out of some dude who's just like crouched in a bush, and that's not fun for me or anyone really who's playing. Yeah, you spend 30 minutes looting and then you just get one tap by a gun. Like, that is not cool. I like the
cool,
fact that you actually have a chance. Yeah. And it's not like if you get dummied by some guy and you're really low and you have to use a Phoenix kit, like, that's a big resource. That was a major item that you had moving into that team fight that you no longer have. So chunking out someone is actually really good in some cases, but I think TTK is perfect the way it is.
Yeah, and the healing feels in a good break. You bring up the Phoenix kit. It's not too fast of heals like in Black Ops. You don't have you move really slow with it, so you can't just do it out in the open. But there are ways to make it faster, be a lifeline or the legendary backpack, so that even when you take damage and you're forced to use those heals, that whole healing array feels good too to me.
Yeah, I think it's really cool because, like, not only does loot feel really exciting and really good to get, right? The color coordination gives you that anticipation, like, whoa, I killed a guy that has a legendary color, and then that's exciting. But in this game, sometimes I'll lose a team fight that's like really epic and just it's drawn out And I don't even care. I'm like, yo, that was a fun fight, guys. Like, holy shit, they beat us, they got us, but that was a good fight. In PUBG, I'm just salty. I'm just mad. I'm just like, whatever. Guy hiding behind the door cheesed me. Great. I've yet to experience that in this
You're
game.
talking to the Tilt Master Flex here. All right, I'm angry at everything. I have never rage quit this game. I've never lost a round and gone, shit. It's like, I love this game. Even my losses, I'm like, holy cow, that was insane and fun.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen. And again, I think it goes back to part of the downtime between the games. When you lose, it doesn't matter. You are instantly back in a new one. You rub off that salt. You're not upset because you spent 400 minutes looking for. We haven't talked about guns yet, by the way, but we haven't spent 400 minutes looking for the one specific gun you want because all the guns are fun, and you can find the gun you want pretty quickly.
To add on top, it seems like every single time I die, it's fair. It's never like, oh, those guys cheesed me, blah blah blah. It's always fair. I had the same amount of armor as they had. I had the same amount of healing as they had, and it's because you always trade up on resources, like we were talking about earlier. Like you always have enough to get by. So there's never a fight where I'm like, that was just violently unfair. They had better items, they won. There's sometimes you drop and you get a Mozambique. and you're playing against a purple armor peacekeeper. You're supposed to.
Times are few and far between.
Exactly, it's so rare. So it's always, it always.
And you
seems fair.
understand how lucky he was, so you're not upset about it.
You can't even be mad at that point. Sometimes you just sacrifice yourself. Like it's just.
So, what's the best gun in the game, and why is it the Mozambique?
Okay.
Because when you dual wield them, you win every fight.
Yeah, it's 4 shots right there.
I have tried that one time. It was my favorite moment in the entire game. We just landed in Skull Town. I grabbed 2 Mozambiques, and I full wiped 2 teams by myself. It was 6 kills within like a minute, and there was double Mozambique. Just cow, 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 cow. 5 seconds of reloading both guns. Go back out, pick off more people. It's the worst gun in the game, and it's shit, though. So.
It's so bad. Did you guys see the Reddit thread talking about the cursed loot chest and
3 Mozambiques.
3 Mozambiques.
Really?
Dude, I had it happen to me yesterday.
The cursed chest, dude. You have to leave the game immediately. You're not allowed to play it through.
Just Alt F4, uninstall and get a cleanse it and then reinstall it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's such a bad item, man. Sometimes I would rather just take the fist fight over using Mozambique.
I think I won that game, actually. I had a guy named
think if I have a Mozambique and it's a 1v1, I just fire all 3 shots and then I go for the melee,
Yeah, it's better than just waiting out the reload. Completely agree.
Yeah. Realistically, though, I think, Peacekeeper is considered to be the best gun. I tend to go for Peacekeeper and Scout as my loadout, or Longbow, or Wingman as my secondary. How about you guys? What are your preferred loadouts?
If I were to go 100% tryhard right now, with the only one week of play I have, I would probably go with Peacekeeper Scout, just because those are 2 very versatile guns. However, the last day and a half, I've been not using any form of sniper. I've been running Peacekeeper SMG, and I just push.
That sounds fun.
I really love the SMGs. I really love the rifle. There's no gun in this. If you're not ignoring pistols, I love all the guns in this game, and a lot of times I'll just be like, I picked up the R301 first this game. This is the game I'm using the R301. So a lot of times I'll just use whatever gun I find first. I don't mind the flatline. I don't mind the Prowlers. All of my 3,000, or my one time I got close to 3,000 point game was the fully auto Prowler when I had like 600 ammo.
Dude, it's good. People flame it super hard, but it's actually good. I like
Prowler's rate of fire and damages.
Yeah.
When you have the mod, you have to have the select fire.
No, I hate the gun, but I've literally never tried it with the mod. I'll be honest. I've never.
You have to be fed heavy ammo by your team because you're going to chew through it like candy, and you have to have the select fire mod. Especially if it's an epic mag. I think I went through 600 rounds, and both my teammates were using light, so they just kept feeding me all like, give me all the heavy ammo after every fight.
That's really fun.
I like them all.
I like the R301 and R99 as my main auto weapon. I try to get those one of the 2 every game, and then I like Wingman, Longbow, Peacekeeper. I'll basically run any of those. I think the Eva is slept on, like the auto shotty. I think it's actually super good.
You don't use a Scout?
Sometimes I'll use a Scout.
I love its rate of fire.
It's good. I just, for some reason, haven't clapped with it too hard.
It's a very unique gun to games. The fact that it's a sniper with that high of a rate of fire, with that accuracy, where you can just lock on someone and spam click over and over and unload 10 rounds in 3 seconds. It's a very weird gun.
It feels really good though. Like, but I've actually been enjoying the longbow a little bit more recently because you can no scope pretty effectively with the longbow, kind of like mid range, just kind of like snapshot people. It feels really nice.
Things you say.
What?
You're gonna go, okay, so when you're no scoping me close range with a longbow, I'm gonna one tap you with my peacekeeper. What are you talking about?
So if my peacekeeper needs to be reloaded, and if I need one more shot on the guy, it's happened to me multiple times. Just change guns instead, and the longbow is like it hits hard, man, and it's pretty easy to do without scoping. So I don't know. I think it feels pretty good for that situation, given the sense that it's a great sniper and it's not bad hip firing. But
I mean, yeah, and then I would just rather have Kala's R99 then, though.
well, of course, but if you're not rocking it, I just think, I mean, the Scout's going to accomplish the same thing, I suppose.
Better probably because it fires faster. You can actually afford the miss.
Yeah, maybe.
The Longbow's got a long charge. I think Longbow is probably my least favorite good gun.
Really?
Because
do you ever use triple take?
Headshots don't one tap. Like you shoot someone with a longbow, they LOS you and heal. I'm not a big fan of snipers in this game because of that. You have to be pushing at all times, or you have to have an angle to where you can eliminate people. So it's all about either positioning or pushing. I feel like executions are more important in this game than anything. You want to finish off that person because if they get res,
I love that.
You just wasted so much ammo. So I feel like it's harder to do that with snipers.
Oh, that's fair. That's a good point.
The knockdown shield and
yeah, I love that element of the game. You know,
I hate snipers being OP. I don't like being one tap from far.
They don't
away,
feel
so.
OP in this game, which is great.
That's the nice thing about this game is they don't feel OP. I like the playstyle of snipers where you can down one person and then have your teammates rush up. Like I do that a lot with my squad.
Or just break their shield. That satisfaction of cracking their armor. You break their epic armor, and it's just like we got one that's
that can win you a fight.
Yeah,
like
let's go.
That can 100% win you a fight.
It feels
forcing
good.
someone out to shield battery or. Yeah.
I mean, I play Pathfinder. He's my boy, and the thing I like about him is that I can kind of be that sniper that opens up, team charges in, and then I just zip line forward or grapple forward to be able to contribute as well. And it feels super fun to go from sniper to shoddy and be able to close the gap pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that. And granted, you could do that in Wraith. She can move pretty quick too, but that's who you play, Zoia, right? You're a Wraith main?
Mm-hmm.
How about you,
love Wraith.
I have basically 100% played Lifeline.
Nice.
Yeah, Lifeline would be my main if I wasn't a Wraith main. I really would love the main. I hate. We'll talk about that in a second, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, when I started, I thought that nobody was going to play her just because she's the support class. So I was like, I'm just going to focus on her and see what's up. And I love the fact that you always have gear no matter what. And you can always keep your team topped up. You're never out of resources, which is great. I think she's awesome. And the res shield is so good. You can bait people in to like rush you with the shield up.
It's so insane.
There's so many times where I'll bait shield and then people will run up and then you just kill them with a peacekeeper. Stuff like that. Like she actually has a lot of interesting play styles, I think.
Yeah, she would be my main, but I really like Wraith's Q, and I like her portal too, especially when I solo queue because pubs be slow, so my portal gets them back to me real quick. But
good for reses too. You can portal on the
res.
Yeah,
you can take the portal and res around corners and stuff. I've done it a few times.
There's a comment in chat that I want to basically address. It says Lifeline is dope, but you can give away your position late game. You can also bait people late game. And use portals and stuff to reposition after dropping your pod. They might show themselves trying to get to where you are. You can be in a completely different spot. I think those kind of plays are super exciting. It's a really cool tool. Oh yeah,
I never every BR I played, which is why BRs usually I don't get lots of wins in. Is like I play for kills and aggression. You want people to come to you. Yeah. Sure, Lifeline gives me away. Bring it. Come. Yeah. Come get my pod. I want to fight. I don't want to look for the fight. I hate listening for gunshots and going to them. You come to me, please.
Or you don't want to get jumped by two dudes around a corner with a peacekeeper, and they're just sitting there sweating their pouches off, waiting for you to turn around. Like, you want them to come to you.
I think I've had that happen to me once, like the whole camping in a house thing, which is great. I think it's a really
it's hard to camp in a house with Blood Hunter in this game.
Yeah, it's just not a good strategy in this game. It's really bad. 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose. A, you're not picking up additional resources by sitting in a building, and B, there's ways to scout you out. And even if you do turn around a corner and people shoot you, sometimes you can just get out before you even drop.
Yeah, because of the time to kill, you have to loot, or you will not have enough resources to beat a late game team.
Yep.
You can't camp. You have to be constantly on the moving. You have to constantly be improving yourself, making sure you have those fully epic gears. I mean, if you don't have a digital threat on one of your guns, you're not done looting. You need to keep killing people. You need to keep calling in the airdrops because the digital threat is just
so valued. The sniper
So
one,
good.
oh my god.
I like the close range ones, man.
Yeah, I like the
Bangle
close range
loads,
one too.
little smoke grenade. Don't people are like never like, haha, I'm safe. I'm gonna get my med off here. No, you're not. I can see you with my 1x digital. You're dead.
That's
I
true.
hate taking fights too when you don't know if they have it. You're just like you're guessing. You're running into the smoke, and all of a sudden, all their shots are hitting you. It's like, no,
how
dude,
are they
I'm
hitting
so
me?
outmatched here. Yeah, I gotta get out.
And lifelines, I think lifelines kits can get you a 1x digital. I'm like pretty sure on that. So
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so too.
it's just really good.
Pretty sure the only items it can't give you are just like the guns. Yeah.
I think that's correct as well. Well, I want to talk about the characters real quick because for me personally, I don't mind because I've always been a mainaholic. I always just like to one trick and commit to them all the way. So I'm happy with playing Wraith all the time. Sometimes I do want to play a lifeline. However, there's the discussion of stats being character specific only and there not being account wide stats that persuades you to want to main. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Because I personally, I want to play Lifeline more. I want to play Blood Hunter more, but I want to get to 100 wins on Wraith first, so I can finish her her little banner I have.
I think they should keep it how it is, but show lifetime stats always somewhere else, right? I think having your individual character flair is cool. You want to show off what you've done with that character, but I think there should be a total number of kill counter or something present elsewhere because. Like you said, you're going to be upset if you're 2 kills away from hitting a certain threshold that that's your goal with a character and somebody first picks him, right? You're like, God damn it, now I got to waste this game. And then you might play more reckless or whatever in that situation. I've done it. I'm like, man, I don't want to play Caustic right now. Why did I pick this character?
Yeah, why'd you pick him then? You got to pick Mirage in that situation. He's fun.
I've never played Mirage. I unlocked him.
But that idea moving forward with new legends coming out, I think would be really important because nobody's going to nobody wants to show the fact that they don't have 3,000 kills across the board when they're playing a brand new character. You know what I mean? Like, I think that would be super good to be able to showcase the fact that you actually have you know X amount of kills across the board or what have you.
I agree. I think I love the milestones. Like it should only be 100. Like to get the Wraith special portrait, you need 100 wins with her. Sure, it should have that, and that should be one of the things I can unlock. But count wide stats would be nice because there's a lot of times I do want to play I really want to play Blood Hunter more, man. His ult is so much fun. I'm jelly of Blood Hunter players. His ult looks like it's the most fun for pushing and aggressive like close range styles, and I would love to play him more. But I want to keep rocking Bay. Because them stats matter.
I just love the things you can do with a grapple, man. With Pathfinder, it just makes me so happy. I feel like such a badass when you do like that over arc swing. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? If you grapple and you jump immediately, you get that arc swing. Like when your teammate's down, you come flying in like Superman. You just one shot the enemy with a Peacekeeper. Oh my god, it makes me feel so good about my life.
Feels good, man.
Yeah, but that hitbox, man. I can't do it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's fair.
I can't play Gibraltar, and I can't play him. Can't really play Caustic, man. They're so easy to kill.
I'm waiting for them to give us the generic Titanfall character that can double jump and run on walls, because that's my shit right there.
Well, they said that the devs said that they tested both double jump and running on walls, and they hated the idea that there could be. They didn't like the fact that anyone could be anywhere.
But
with double jumping and wall running, you could get to any position out of nowhere. You see someone running on the ground right there, and then suddenly they're instantly on a roof 3 buildings over.
Yeah, but you can do similar things with Pathfinder. Like
yes,
exactly,
with Pathfinder.
With
Pathfinder,
and
that's the only benefit
where they are. Because
the only benefit
you can visibly see the zip lines, so that you can.
Yeah, and they make noise, so there is a trade with Pathfinder having that specifically. He's losing stuff and gaining stuff.
But
everyone having traveling on it.
No, I'm not saying everyone. I'm saying a character. Like make a character that is designed around that, and I will play that character. That sounds fun to me.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, what I was saying was the devs specifically said they did not like the idea of double jump. Maybe if there's a single character, we'll see. But that does also seem like that I mean, imagine all the areas you could get with that kind of style. It would be absurd.
I mean, I climb on top of the dinosaur bones as Pathfinder because I can. I'm just like, why not? I'm just gonna go up here. I'm just gonna like snipe people. But
Genji in this game is OP.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not saying they should be able to dash too.
I think the mobility is already in a good spot. I feel like that would make that character busted.
I worry about mobility creep,
mobile.
dude. It hits every game. I
Yeah.
think that just having
Fair.
some characters that are mobile, some characters that aren't, don't make it so that a bunch of characters have abilities like Pathfinder that allow your team to just hyper rotate from one area to another. I like that there's only 2 characters that do that, Wraith and Pathfinder, and both of them have very obvious flaws in their rotation. One, the team can just follow you, and the other one, you're sitting on a frickin' zip line the whole time, so you're just hit confirm the entire way to someone that's actually good at tracking their shots. So I like the fact that there's ups and downs to both of the heroes that provide rotational abilities.
It's going to be really interesting to see the characters evolve, though, because like how many other mechanics can they add? I imagine we'll get a support that has an instant res, right? Like if your ally's downed, they'll probably have some kind of instant res, like a jumper cable, whatever. That'll probably become a thing. That's going to be a super powerful tool. They've already done shields in multiple ways. We've got the shield while resing. We've got the Gibraltar shield. How many more forms of shields can we do? I don't know, but they're going to have to be creative if they're going to continue to add characters.
Who cares? And I'm tired of that. We don't need hundreds of characters. We don't need to be Overwatch. We don't need to. I'm not yelling at you.
I think we'll get like maybe 3 or 4 characters a year. That's what I'm hoping for.
How many? 3 or 4 a year?
Yeah.
I doubt that's going to be the case. I expect a lot more.
Really? I thought they said 1 every 3 months.
Yeah,
somewhere.
I think it's like 1 or 2 a season.
I haven't seen them saying anything.
So
but if 1 or 2 a season. You already said there's a season in March and a season in April.
No, March, June.
Oh, I thought you said March, April.
March, June, September.
Every month.
I think adding 3 or 4 a year would be more than enough. Like,
yeah.
So this isn't the best resolution image in the world, but that is what the roadmap looks like. We got season
2
1
per season, 8 per year. That's a lot.
See, I think that's too many.
That is way too many.
8 characters.
So if it's
year,
4 per year, if it's 1 per season, then that's pretty good. But it's probably going to be 2.
But that's the issue is you're thinking about now. You're not thinking about 3 to 4 years from when you think about longevity.
I
we're
agree.
getting 4 characters a year. That's still too many. We don't need this game to have 30 plus characters like an Overwatch would, or eventually you see games like League and Dota, and eventually, Heroes of the Storm is a good example. We all come from that. We don't need that many characters. Characters don't have to be a draw for you to play the game. And eventually it's just going to become obnoxious. Especially when it comes to the free-to-play aspect of it, where you have to unlock these characters, the new player then. So hopefully we see at most 24 heroes total by like long-term. Long-term, like 2 to 3 years from now.
Yeah.
But anything more than that is like... How many do we have now? 10? 8?
8?
Oh, even 24 seems like too much.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking more like 16, honestly. But I guess it depends on how well they can design the characters. I do like the fact that the characters have very simple kits. It's not Overwatch where they have multiple abilities. They have a passive, they've got an ability. And I think Pathfinder's passive, I think that's really interesting. It's based on a map mechanic where you have to go and then find a beacon and then use it. And that's something that they could recycle for multiple characters. Like say that they make another robot character, they could have that same passive. I think that's fine. I like that. I think overlap between characters is probably fine as long as the characters do feel different. I just hope it's not just like they give us a Gibraltar with a smaller hitbox that has the same kit, right?
I
Because
feel
the Gibraltar
like
would be worthless.
I feel like there's plenty of things they could come up with to have like 30 plus unique characters.
Yeah.
Game designers are creative like that, and there's lots of mechanics they could implement. So I don't see them running out of ideas. I just hope they don't feel like they need to implement them all and just. Well, I think 1 a season would be good. If they do 2 a season, that seems like a fast pace to.
Fair. Yeah.
But sometimes you need that to keep people playing the game.
Sometimes,
It's a tough decision to make. Who knows? We'll see. It's too early to tell right now. We'll have to see when the first batch of heroes come out, which you said in March.
Yeah, season 1 starts in March, so I don't know if it's going to be at the start of the season or what. Probably unlocked via Battle Pass. Have to buy the Battle Pass or spend your Legends tokens. Before we hop into talking about the revive system, we kind of are on the topic of currency, earning tokens, unlocking characters, cosmetics, etc. They're getting a bit of flack for selling these Valentine's items for $1,100, and it costs $10 for 1,000. So they're like, cool, you can give us $10, but that's still not quite enough for this gun. And then if you want to spend your legend tokens, you actually can't spend them on anything but new characters unless you purchase a cosmetic with real money, and then you get a variation of that cosmetic.
Yeah.
These are two very greedy things. It feels like a bit much. I mean, we can't, there's no defending it, right? It's just pure greed.
What did you expect? It's electronic art.
But
electronic art. So you remember the destruction they did to Battlefield 2? Do you remember how much money you had to spend on that game to unlock everything?
No, because I just said screw EA and I didn't.
Yeah, because you're not getting that much. No one's ever going to spend.
So I haven't spent $1 on this game yet.
Good.
I have. I bought $20 worth of pack.
I'm
willing
like
to support these
skins
games.
and nothing. It's just
I'm gonna buy the battle pass, and that's gonna be it for me, right? I'll give them the battle pass money, the $15, whatever it is, and I'll get that content. I mean, that's kind of why I've been hesitant to spend money right now, because if it's anything like, I never played Fortnite. I played Ring of Elysium, and the battle pass there allows you to grind and earn skins as you progress, and I like that a lot, right? I'm paying $15 to get additional experience and additional unlocks available, and that feels great.
Yeah, I think that's the ideal way to go it, and that's why most games have adopted the Battle Pass. I spent $20 on packs. I wanted to support the devs. It's a free-to-play game. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. It's the game I've enjoyed the most in the longest time.
I would agree.
I'm also going to get the Battle Pass. So I'm willing to give them a little bit of money. I agree there are issues. I mean, on my account right now, I think I'm level 56. I think I went from 54 to 50 or 51 to 56 without getting another loot box. I got one at 51, and I just got a loot box at 56, and the levels are taking a lot longer. So I'm getting a lot less boxes now.
I think
there's nothing I can unlock with my legend tokens at all. Yeah. I've got both characters. Yeah. I'm just banking them right now. So I'm getting loot crate slower. I'm not getting them for wins. We're not getting loot boxes for wins. I've got 30-something wins total right now. Didn't get a single reward for any of them except for the experience granted. So there's a definite strangle on this cosmetic loot system right now.
I'm feeling it, and that's that's what I wanted to mention. As somebody who hasn't spent money on the game, I feel like I don't get anything.
Yeah, I would
absolutely
I've
nothing.
spent money, and I am like dying right now.
And I compare that to Heroes of the Storm, where I've literally unlocked like every single thing in HOTS just by playing the game a whole bunch, and I do like that model. But I'm pretty sure that you're just not going to be able to unlock basically anything unless you pay for it.
So here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping, one, they at least bring that price down to 1,000 so that you can spend the minimum amount, which is $10, and get something. The fact that that is not a thing right now in the store is a problem. But two, the thing I'm looking forward to the most is just seeing what the seasons actually bring. If the seasons don't give you a better sense of progression and earning, cosmetics, then they're gonna hurt. Like, I think that's the number one thing, because we're having fun. We're in the honeymoon phase. The game's new. We're just loving grinding it. But there's a point where you care about more than just your stats. I think the stats remedy a lot because, increasing your kill count on your player card feels good. It's like, hell yeah, I hit 50,000 total damage, whatever. That's cool. But you still want to get your first, heirloom pack. I still haven't gotten an heirloom. It's a 1 in 500 chance. I haven't opened 500 loot boxes. That's for sure.
Why not make it? See, this is the thing I don't get is make that number harder to obtain. Make it 1 in 2,000, but give me loot boxes all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
Give me something to open.
There's so many voice lines and garbage shit that I'm never going to feel about.
I don't care if it's just nonsense. Just give me some form of progression. I went from 51 to 56 and got 1 loot box, and that was a lot of games.
I'm pretty sure you get
so slow.
I'm pretty sure you get 45 loot boxes from level 1 to 100. You get 45.
Yeah, that's way too infrequent. And then
it's
for
awful.
Every win, you should also be getting one.
Yeah,
just and give me trash every day. I don't care. Just give me something.
Yeah. It doesn't even have to be a chance at a legendary. You get a win, you get a white. I don't care.
Yeah, give me some crafting materials. Don't care. I just want to click the button and hit
I have a feeling
spacebar.
that there's been a few dev interviews, and they say that they're doing their best to distance Electronic Arts from this. I mean, I'm making a lot of assumptions, rather. But my assumption is that the reason they were able to do that is they've given EA full control over the store and monetization.
And that's why it's a little scuffed.
And that's why, not a little scuffed, but that is the only. This is one of the worst in-game shops I've ever seen. This is like Korean MMO level of like,
well, no, it feels like Supercell
trying to take all my money.
Dude, Supercell. There's a game called Brawl Stars that I think is very fun. It's a 3v3 arena mobile game. I know. Don't you guys have phones?
You're talking about that.
But it cost like $70 for some of the characters. Like you can get them at a loot box for free, but holy shit, the greed is repulsive in that game.
Pretty bad.
Like,
I got invited.
Obviously, I'm exaggerating a bit. This game is not that bad. Clearly, like it's not.
Yeah, but
worst, but it's still pretty bad. This is one of the worst when it comes to cosmetic reward games I've played in a while because it's just like you said.
I
can't imagine not spending a single dollar on this game.
Yeah. I'm mid-50s and I don't have a single skin for my character.
We're the same level, and I was able to craft one of the epic skins for Wraith. I got the Demon Hunter one. Because I spent $20, and then out of that $20, I was able to get 400 crafting points.
Okay, see, like I still don't even have enough to make a decent skin.
Yeah, so I couldn't even make a legendary skin. I had to spend $20 to make an epic skin.
How many hours do I have in this game? 40 so far.
Zoya, I got that legendary Wraith skin. If I could give it to you, I would.
Yeah, I've got a Fat Stick Man, one of the guys who play D&D with. He mains Lifeline, and I have a legendary Lifeline skin. I guess that's going to piss you off. I have London Calling.
That's the one I want.
That's the one I have. That's the one I have, and I don't play Lifeline. I only play Wraith.
I'm really trying to get that one right now. So I've really been trying to get that one.
Man. If I could give it to you, I would. Not even like a trade. If I could just gift it to you with nothing back, I would. Skins are so hard to get in this game that I'd be willing to just help a friend out.
I think I'm 80 shards away from crafting the neural network skin for Pathfinder. I want it. But yeah.
So yeah, that definitely needs to be changed. I think a resounding yes. But it's early. The Battle Pass may blow all of that out of the water. They might have great plans for the Battle Pass, the Fortnite Battle Passes. Even I've got the ROE Battle Pass. Those give you a lot of skins. Every single time.
I played Season 1 Ring of Elysium, had the Battle Pass for that. Basically, in that game, there are characters. It's kind of like Fortnite. The characters have no stats. They're just cosmetics. And the Battle Pass gives you those characters, and then as you play, you're guaranteed to unlock new skins for them and different paragliders and stuff, which is cool. But let's talk about the revive system since we haven't gotten into that yet. So the revive system allows you to bring teammates back into the game. It's very apparent that it's happening when the ship comes in, which I think is pretty cool because it's not necessarily always going to be safe. When you revive someone, it's got a target location for it. I think it's brilliant. Nobody's ever considered having revives in a BR. I think it's pretty cool. How about you guys?
Well, technically, you have the Battle Battle Royale, which had the reses, but FPS, you were 100% right. I don't mind it. I feel like everything about this game is designed to keep you playing with your friends. That's why there's no solo queue. That's why the load times are so fast. They just want you to keep getting into it really quick and keep playing with your friends. And how many times have you lost a fight early on? And it's like you see streamers do it. I saw streamers do it yesterday or a week ago playing Fortnite. Well, we won the fight, but one of our teammates is down. Doesn't matter. We all have really good loot. We're 2 minutes into this 30-minute game. Let's restart, even though we won the fight.
That sucks.
It's awful.
It's happened in every single BR we've all played. I've done it hundreds of times. Well, 4 of us land here. 1 of us is dead. Let's regame.
Yep. Classic.
It allows you to fix that issue.
Yep. And it's when you have to go and res, it actually takes a lot of time. Sometimes you have to be running for 30, 45 seconds to go get the res. You have to sit there and channel it for 4 or 5 seconds, and you're just completely out in the open. You can't move, you can't duck, you can't do anything. So you're very vulnerable. And then your ally has to, if he doesn't have access to his body, completely reloot himself. So I actually think the trade-off is really, really good. It's not like rezzing is super OP. You waste time, so you're not able to get ahead of the curve in terms of loot and rotations. And you actually feel a little bit behind off of reses, which I think is really, really important. They shouldn't just be these super OP, a super OP mechanic in the game, and I don't think it is. I actually just think it helps out with exactly what you just mentioned, Zoya. It makes it so that your two friends, you die, and you can actually just get back into the game, so you don't have to restart. And I like the fact that only one team can use a single res point.
Yes.
And it's so damn obvious. You're like, okay, that ship's coming in. Oh, they're rezzing. There's going to be a naked dude
the
there.
The sounds in this game, we haven't talked about the audio files. The sound for when you break someone's shield, it's very specific, and you know what happened when it happened. The sound for airdrops, right? Well, like the lifeline airdrops. You know what that sounds like. It doesn't get mixed up with the loot ship that flies around. It doesn't get mixed up with the res ship. It's all, you just immediately you hear that, you hear the res go off, you look at the map, you see, oh, that green circle's gone, someone's resing there, you look over there, you see the ship coming in from above. It's highlights everyone on the map that this person just got rezzed. And they're vulnerable, like Kala said. They come with no loot. Luckily, I play Wraith, so I usually have a portal back to that person's body if it's close enough.
Yeah, that's so
that
good.
Speeds things
but then
up
you're
sometimes.
using an ultimate, right?
Yep, then you're consuming another resource.
Yeah, it feels like it's always fair. Again, just pointing back, you actually have to use resources in order to get your ally back up. So
which is really good. It feels really good. It feels satisfying. I almost feel nice to be able to provide that zip line down to loot or whatever when I res someone, right? It's like, cool, I'm getting additional use out of my ability. I'm feeling good about that. With the resurrection being an option in the game, typically when you get to the late game, you're hitting full squads of 3, right? Almost every single time it's a full squad of 3 in most cases. But once you get down to the last few teams, the actual player count goes away, turns into a question mark. That's what I wanted to ask. Is I like it a lot. I think it creates a lot of tension and a lot of unknown. But Zoya,
it adds a degree of skill that the game does need for a competitive level. We always talk about in Heroes of the Storm timer counting back when we didn't have the timers in game. You would know when a camp was respawning. You would know when something's going to happen. This is another thing that you have to mentally keep track of. So sometimes you'll look at it and be like, okay, there's 4 squads left. There's 11 players left. You look at eventually it's still 4 squads left, but you see that question mark. And, you can try and do the math to see like, okay, at least one of these squads doesn't have full, or you are keeping track of it. And you see like, oh, there's 5 squads left with 15 players. Okay, cool. That all 3 squads are full. It gives you this strategic advantage, and then you can look for that in fights. Like you can see, okay, that is the team of 2 over there. We're looking for a 2 stack. We see only 2 people over there. It gives you that one. It's anything that lets you set yourself apart from the average player will give this chance a better slot at being a big esport, or a successful esport rather. It doesn't have to necessarily be big, but a successful one. Anything that allows you to push yourself further, and that degree of hidden information gives the good players an opportunity to take advantage of that.
I've never actually thought about that, but it's a good point. It does just separate some players depending on what kind of information you're cataloging. Yeah, I've never really paid attention to the fact that it gives the question mark. I only just scout the area, because usually at that point, it's such a small area, you can kind of see the entire map at that point.
Sometimes I've had big circles for top 30.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
It happens. There's some games that are just wild. Everyone goes to the drop.
Yeah,
I think
there are games where it's over. You're at the second circle, and it's like, oh, there's 12 people left.
I've won games where I didn't know I was going to win off of a
kill.
I've
had that happen.
It's like, wait, there's 3 teams left? What?
No, like straight up, it'll say you're the champion.
Yeah, I've had that happen before. Like, I can't believe that was the final firefight. We just won.
Because it's like you land, you fight, you win.
Okay, so that has never happened to me, because the audio cues and the characters that they give when they're saying 1 squad left, 2 squad left, or an omnipresent thing. I hear you, but I just wanted to commend them on that, because
I love that.
I think it's a beautiful thing where, I'm not always watching the top right corner and he'll say 2 squads left. I'm like, oh shit, like, okay, boys, it's on.
I've gotten better. I do have to admit, I've gotten better at recognizing those audio cues. And I love there's a little side tangent, but I love the world this game is in. I love that it actually feels like a game for the characters. Like they're competing for some champion prize. It's like the commentators like champion squad eliminated and stuff like that.
Dude, it feels so cool. Like we didn't even talk about that. Game. We didn't talk about the whole the fact that this is a battle royale that actually captured the Hunger Games vibe, where it's there's a champion, and
That's what it is. The Hunger Games. Nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue, but that's exactly right, dude.
It's got a good lore. Like I'm very interested to eventually learn more about the lore. But when you're actually in the game, it doesn't. It feels like you're actually in the game.
so
Like when you're playing Ring of Elysium, you don't feel like you're running from a volcano.
I need to
you're
correct
running from
myself
ash.
as a self-proclaimed weeb. That battle royale vibe, because battle royale is a Japanese movie. I'm sure you guys have seen it. I hope you've seen it, but
Yeah.
it is. Oh my god, dude! It is
It's like the origin of that Hunger Games
it's what Hunger Games
genre.
is.
Really, eh?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
battle royale. It's a bunch of students that Japan is overpopulated, so they truck all these students that are like kids, like 16, 17-year-olds, to an island essentially, and they
Find
just
it out.
leave them there, and they can run and grab frying pans or crossbows or whatever they can find, and they have to kill each other. And
It's one of those old school brutal
brutal,
80s
dude.
movies. Like
Yeah.
you
It's
know how
90s.
the
I think
80s
it's
had that
90s,
phase.
but I'm pretty sure
80s or
it's
90s, there was that
Yeah.
phase where they were just doing absurd stuff because no one cared back then. It was like it's a
battle
bunch of
royale.
children slaughtering themselves in a Japanese movie.
Holy
Literally,
cow.
the name of the genre is a Japanese movie, battle royale. Watch it. Old school, awesome, wonderful. I think there's a second one. Don't watch that. But yeah, so
But yeah, the atmosphere, the atmosphere this world puts
it
on.
feels
is
alive.
nice.
Yes, the map itself, the world itself is alive, and it's cool that this is the Titanfall world, right? I actually now I feel the need to play Titanfall 2. I want to know more about the world. I want to know more about.
Well, you have that Origin Pass.
I do. I actually
If you
started
have
playing it.
Titanfall too.
Yeah.
Zach says the campaign's about 6 hours, so
Yeah.
it's worth playing.
Cool. Yeah, I gotta play through. Okay. We are running low on time, but I wanted to hop in and just talk about your favorite places to loot and go to in the game, and why. And if you guys have any specific routes or tricks that you'd want to mention, or whatever, we can get into that as well. But we do have this cool map. It's apexmap.io is a website if you ever want to just kind of reference the map here to learn about where different good loot tables are. It does tell you in game what kind of loot tier is in the zone that you're going to, but this is a resource you could be using.
If I had to pick a favorite, I love wetlands, man.
Interesting.
The swamps?
I always just have good fights there. Like, there's always a good fight in wetlands for me, so I go there frequently.
I really like any back-to-back high-tier loot areas. So if you land Repulsor and you rotate out west, or you land Runoff and rotate south,
Yeah.
or Airbase and rotate north, or Relay and
So
rotate
you
south.
have the three-man group mentality. I have the solo queue into pubs mentality.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
As a 3-man, I like trying to go purple to purple every time, or purple
Yeah,
to
if
blue
I have a
at
three-man, that's
least.
smart. Yeah, I love going. I love the relay to artillery run as well. That's a very good loot run. You will leave everyone in your party will leave that area fully teethed out. So I agree with that.
I like
That's what I
going
try to do
to
most games.
I
Repulsor
don't-
to
yeah,
swamps
sure.
is my favorite run that I've been doing a lot of. But
Yeah, that's another good one, purple to
Yeah.
purple.
Yeah.
You can get so much good stuff by doing that. It's insane.
a lot of people drop Hydro Dam, and it's fun to just go Repulsor to Hydro Dam, then to swamps if you want to do that as well. But I feel
Yeah,
like
that's
a
good.
lot of people don't go to swamps, well, pending what the dropship angle is. But
So my normal loot run though, when I do the three-man, is I do land where that first place I showed you at. There's no name on it.
this guy?
Just like the landing over by
Yes,
artillery.
right there, right between wetlands and Cascades. That little blue block there.
Yeah.
So
the one
there's
that- the one
two
that I've
buildings
selected.
there, and then north of it where that res is, there's an army of loot crates. So what we do and we try hard. So one person goes to the buildings on the left, one person goes to the buildings on the right, and then I go to the loot chest. And I run up to the loot chest, we all get one good gun we're comfortable with, and then we go to wherever we know someone landed. Whether it was
Yeah,
wetlands,
this is-
relay, artillery, Cascades.
This is a really unpopular drop spot. So it is like if you're a newer player and you're trying to get comfortable with just grabbing like a little bit of loot and then practicing with guns without the chaos of immediately gunfighting, this is a
Do
good
not
spot
come here
for
with
that.
pubs because you have to split
Yeah,
up.
they
Like
get
if-
confused. They get confused if you come here with pubs because they will run in every which way. This
Well,
has to
no,
be-
they won't learn every which way. They'll follow you around and they'll keep looting the same one thing you're looting, and
Or
then
that.
you'll all run and walk away with nothing. So this is very loot sparse, unless you split up.
if you unless you know where it is too, because like Zoe said, this left. Let me make my mouse visible on the browser so I can actually show.
But I just
that.
like options. This is why it's not the best place to land, but it gives me I can go anywhere from here.
Yeah.
If I hear shots anywhere, they're close,
But
and I can get to them very quickly.
like
The
Zoya was
other
saying,
thing. Oh, sorry. No.
I was gonna say, like Zoya was saying, there's loot here in these left houses. There's loot here, and there's an underground area, which is basically what this indicator is, that you can get loot at. And then if you go north, there's loot along the road and up here in the hills. And then there's
so many chests.
There's loot. Yeah, there's chests like all over this area, like legit.
And you're
tons.
running 2 artillery while you're looting them too, so you're kind of already heading toward a fight usually.
And then you're in a fight, yeah, which is I like that run a lot. It's very fun.
Yeah.
But Kyle, what were you gonna say?
My 3-man dude.
One of my favorite kind of play styles as well is, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but in the northwest quadrant of the map, there's the highest concentration of purple loot areas. So
Yeah.
Airbase, runoff, the pit, the bunker, and there's so many ways that you can land, run off, go the pit, then bunker, and hit 3 high tier loot areas in a matter of
Dude,
minutes, which
It's
is
crazy. No one
huge.
loots the pit.
I know.
I don't
always-
think I've ever gone in there and it's been looted.
Dude, yeah,
And I will
same.
go in
Like
there
twice.
late game and it's
Now,
Yeah.
granted, it doesn't have a lot of loot. It might be high
No.
tier loot. It's 3 chests and some stuff on the ground.
It also just takes half a second.
Yeah,
to just
why?
dip in there, grab
If
it,
you're
and
ever
dip
in the
out.
northwest corner of the map, there's no reason not to be like,
Right.
hey, let's swing by
It's-
the pit.
Yeah.
It's just I wouldn't. Yeah, it's not a place to drop. Right. It's a place that you go to secondary. So you go to the runoff and you make your way to the pit.
Or if you know there's like no one in the area, you're going like runoff or something, and you look around you because we didn't talk about it, but I want to point out every single team having their own colored jets, so you can easily spot which teams are going where.
so good.
And we didn't talk about the ping system too, which is also god tier. We didn't talk about a lot of the great things about this game because
There's so much
to talk about.
there. Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's what I like to do. Just kind of chill on the northwest side as well.
that's
Cool.
a good loot.
A
I'm gonna
lot
try
of
that
my
out next.
wins, honestly, have resulted in that because if you get out of those fights alive, you have infinite gear.
Purple
Like,
armor.
there's
times
you're
where
feeling
off
real
of-
good. Yeah.
Yeah, off the first 2 duels, you're just. I always say this to my squad. I'm like, I have gear to win the game now, and that's when I'm fully kitted, 2 guns, and I have enough healing and armor, and it's like I'm ready to win the game now. And I find it's most frequent off of the northwest drops.
Someone did mention it in chat. I do want to talk about it. I think Thunderdome is the coolest loot area ever
It's
designed
so fun,
in
dude.
EDR ever.
Yeah.
It is.
It's
When I first
hilarious.
looked at it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna hate circles ending here because of that high up box up there. But there's so many grapple ways you can get up to it. They allow it to be pushed from multiple angles. It's such a unique and well designed area that I also really love. Really love Thunderdome. It's just a fun, well designed place.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool stuff on the map. Cool. Yeah. I don't know. It's I didn't change the overlay to say favorite loot runs. Monka.
I feel like we should have had an entire 30-minute section dedicated to the pings.
Hey.
So I just want to put a little extra emphasis on it. The ping system is god tier.
Yeah.
It's revolutionary, and every single other game moving forward is going to be copying it, guaranteed.
Everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The fact that you can play
Revolutionary
and
is not an
communicate,
understatement.
yeah, and communicate every single point of information you could possibly want to communicate without being in voice comms it's the most intuitive, brilliant system I've ever seen introduced into a multiplayer game.
And I will
Hands down.
say that, right away, pugs still suck, right? Playing with random people can still feel really bad, but people are getting so much better at communicating with pings that it's like it's making playing solo in squads more tolerable. On average.
I've been doing it a lot. I play
Yeah.
a lot of solo and
But
squads.
it's gotten
and
way
I've
better,
won
right?
quite a
Because
few
people
times.
actually understand the game. They understand how to ping and stuff now. It's not good, but it's still better.
It's still pretty. It's hit or
It's like a
miss.
meme in my chat because when the game first came out and I realized just how powerful pinging is. If somebody says a bit of information without a ping, I flame them. Like straight up. If one of my friends is like, "Oh, there's a guy over here," I'm like, "And you haven't pinged it? Like,
Dude.
what is the matter? Like, give me the free info." Like there's so many times where I just
Ping before
immediately
speaking.
swing like
You don't need
exactly
to
like,
speak. It's faster.
instant ping. It's so useful, dude.
We had a game today where the guy's in my mic saying, "Over there, over there, over there." I'm like, dude, just ping. Just freaking ping.
Yeah, the worst people are not just the over there's, but the over there's that aren't shooting over there. They're just saying. Like if I'm saying over there, at least I'm usually firing in that direction, so you can kind of get an idea. But it's like, look over there. Oh, okay. Cool, dude.
Yeah, dude, one of my favorite things, just like a little side tangent, is they have the text to voice thing built in game, which I enabled immediately because the voice makes me laugh so hard. I 3v1'd a team because 2 of my allies got downed. The guy types NJ. it reads New Jersey. I'm just like, what? So it's there's a lot of fun little things they did, but the accessibility, the text, chat, that's all becoming a requirement. It's there, which is, just Respawn has kicked ass. They've really thought of everything. They've made this game have an amazing system. I wouldn't be surprised if we got clans before a ton of other games get them. I really would not be surprised because they are planning to have a ranked ladder. They said it's almost ready. They're planning to do a lot of things. So let's kind of segue into our final topic of the show, which is going to be basically esports and the foundation of competitive play, where we have ranked ladder. Eventually, obviously, we need custom games, we need a ranked ladder, and then we need tournaments. Zoia, you mentioned that you've never thought BRs would make a good esports title. I agree until this game, but how do you feel about this game and why?
See, when I think of an esport, I always compare it to NBA and the NFL leagues. This game will be more like Melee than anything. It'll have one-off events where people are flown out to and compete. So that will be, then I think that format can be successful. When you have a 60-player game, though, you're flying out 20 teams of 3. That is a lot for LAN events. So primarily, we're going to have to see online events. I don't realistically see a league format working. It'll just be one-off tournaments. I mean, maybe someone can make a league format work with this type of game, but they would have to be pulled off very well. So I just see it being one-off tournaments here and there, very similar to the Melee tournament style.
Which personally I prefer. Colin?
Less homebrew though.
I'm
online
all
will be a
about
thing.
leagues. Okay.
Yes.
I'll just be completely open. I'm all about leagues, and I think I think if they could make a league work, that would be absolutely amazing. But I don't think it needs it.
Oh, I agree too.
Yeah,
I'm
think-
just comparing it to Melee. It will be more of a Melee type game than a.
Yeah. And if a league exists, it'll be online. Straight up.
That's fine. Like, you don't need to make an Overwatch league. You don't need to make an LCS. It doesn't have to do that. It has to just be a good game at the foundation. That's all that matters. I think the esports scene will be developed from that. And I think it will fall into more of like a broadcaster. I called these games broadcaster royale games where, the top of the communities are just the best broadcast personalities. Look at Fortnite. And I think that this game will kind of mirror something similar. But I do think that you could very well have pop-up cups like Fortnite does. I think you can have pretty big one-off tournaments like at PAX and stuff like that, or just
DreamHacks, PAXes,
qualify.
absolutely.
Exactly. People who qualify online can show up and compete in the tournaments, and it has its own way of scoring. But I don't think it should take itself unbelievably seriously, where it's like all these esports organizations have these insane teams and those are the ones that win, because it's just the game will have too much volatility to really, well, maybe not because it's so much time to kill and stuff like that. I don't know. Okay. I just don't think it needs a league. That's it. I think just tournaments would be absolutely fantastic, and that's all the game needs.
It's pure speculation until we see competitive play.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about esports professional play. I'm talking about competitive play, 2 good teams consistently facing off against each other in high-level matches. Until we see then, we have no idea what the future of the esports is in, because this game could be a complete bust at the top level when it's top players versus top players. It might just be just like Turtle Fest. Everyone's camping in corners, healing. It may slow down when it comes to the top level of play. We don't know until we see it. So until we see that,
they usually do slow down.
Yes,
but yeah,
we don't know until we see it. So until then, it's all speculation. But yes, I would not like to see a league format as well.
The funny thing is, guys, is whenever a new game comes out that I really enjoy, I always get passionate and really excited about the esports scene. With this game, I just want the game to be good. I don't give a crap. I just want the game to be good, and I want to, if tournaments pop up and stuff like that, I would love to cast them,
if history,
I would love to participate. But
yeah, if history's proven anything, you can't design games for esports.
I was
esports
literally just
has to be a secondary.
They have to happen organically.
Right?
It can't be a secondary. It can't be a secondary. It has to be a fourthary.
Well,
or even further back.
If it makes sense,
just make a good
then
game.
sweet. Yeah.
Yes.
This, as long as this is the first game that I've played in a long ass time where I go to work and I'm just like thinking about playing. I'm just like, yo, I want to go home and grind. I don't care if I have friends that are going to be on to play tonight. I don't care. I want to play. And there's games where I'm like, yeah, it's fun. I'm going to play on my stream tomorrow. But I'm like, no, I'm going to go home. I'm going to play 2 games before I go to bed. I'm not even going to stream it. I just want to get a couple games in, right? I'm playing as much as I possibly can. And I think the 25 plus million players proves that a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah.
Well said.
Spectator friendly.
I haven't been
Any opinions on that? Do you think this will be more spectator friendly, being squads of 3, 20 teams, than the other BRs?
Yes, I do think it will be more so that way. Just because I think that the action happens so fast and everything that's going on is pretty easy to follow. Most BRs, it actually is decently easy to follow. You know, one team shoots the other team and one team wins. It's pretty simple. But I think it will be pretty viewer friendly. It's just it matters on the spectator mode. That's
Well,
the big thing.
yeah, I mean, we can't even talk about that because
I
we have no
think
idea.
there is enough going. It's not about the gameplay itself. It's about what watching it's like, and there's enough objectives in this game outside of fighting, like the clutch reses, the getting down of a player, like someone's downed and you're in the middle of a crazy firefight. Can the lifeline save everyone before it's too late? You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of play making, which is important for the viewer perspective. So that gives me hope. But again, it comes on the client.
The exciting thing about this is we were talking about time to kill, and we were talking about the cost when it comes to a firefight, being able to replenish your armor, being able to heal back up. During a firefight that's drawn out, every shot matters because they're drained. Like at the highest level, I think it's going to come down to breaking the armor, taking cover, healing up a little bit. The rush happens eventually at some point, but that whole resource management, being able to maintain those heals, being able to maintain that armor or breaking that armor and forcing them to heal, that's still meaningful. And then of course the third parties are going to get hype and shit. No, but then the third parties are going to happen, and then it's going to shit's going to hit the fan. And when one team manages to crawl out on top, it's going to feel really high. That's my opinion. I'm personally, we don't know. We don't know what it's going to look like, how aggressive teams are going to play, but I think there's some real potential with this game.
I think the potential is there, yeah. I'm just still concerned that it's going to slow down too much. But we'll see when we get there.
We'll find out, yeah.
Once people know every camp location and whatever angle they can get flanked from and how to cover from that. Like, we're talking about serious game knowledge. It takes thousands of hours of play. Once people know every single corner, every single opportunity, there may not be angles you can get pushed from, and you could always just be able to pull back and heal.
True.
We'll see. I'm hyped, though. I am overall hopeful.
All I know is what I'm happy about is there's no mechanics in this game that stall out the game incredibly long. Like thinking of Fortnite, just watching two great teams build Taj Mahals on top of each other. Like, to me, that is so boring as a viewer perspective. I like the fact that this game will actually, there's nothing like that will just stall out the game until a tiny circle. I don't know if that will really ever happen with this game, which is really great as the viewer.
Agreed.
Yeah. No, I never played the game because I really dislike that element. The game looks fun outside of that.
I played the hell out of Fortnite.
I mean,
it's a good game.
I didn't. I played Ring of Elysium instead. That was the game I found. I'm like, this is fun. It's better than PUBG in every way. It's faster than PUBG. And that was my BR for the last while. But Apex, very fun game. I don't know. Any closing remarks before we send off our first episode?
Dude, I'm just happy to play. That's all I want to say. I've been having so much fun. You said it yourself a few minutes ago that you go to work and you come home and you're like, dude, I just want to play, even if it's 2 games, 3 games. I don't care. I've been having so much fun, and it seems like it's so rare in such an oversaturated market where all these companies are just trying to grab your attention with all these, no pun intended, but quips and just like, oh, play our game because of this and play our game because of that. It's like, this game is pulling me in just because it is fun to play, whether it's just me or if I have a squad. I don't care if I win even, dude. I just want to duel the next team and get back into a game, and I can. And the game's stable, and the gunplay is great, and the movement is athletic and brilliant. Everything about this game is just so fun. That's it, dude. I've just been having so much fun. If there's anybody who watches this who hasn't played BRs or first-person shooters much, dude, give it a shot. I'm telling you, you will be sold on it. It's not just overhyped because everybody's playing it. Everyone's playing it because it's so damn good.
Zoia?
The thing I want to say is that, generally speaking, I'm a solo player. I don't like playing games with other people. I like to just listen to music, chill back, and play games. This is a game I solo queue in a lot. This is a game I'm actively wanting to play with my friends. Solo queue may be nice one day, but for a game to be fun enough for me to want to put up with solo queue as much as I do, being a guy that, again, does not like doing that, It's a good game. I'm enjoying the hell out of it, and it's been needed for a while. I've been so bored.
Yeah.
And I've only been wanting Classic WoW for 2 years now, and it still feels so far away. But I have something to play right now, so it's cool.
No. TownHall Classic isn't dead, by the way. There's just nothing to talk about. That is going to be a thing.
What the hell would we talk about?
Yeah, there's just absolutely nothing to talk about, really.
We'd circle jerk about the same 2-hour topics we did last time.
Now, fact. So I think the thing for me is very similar to what Khaled said. This is a game where it's not even just gunplay. I feel like I can practice movement and feel good about getting better at it. Like the first week of the game, just getting better at the sliding, getting better at the grappling, getting better at, learning the map. And
you want to get better. When's the last time you wanted to get better?
Precisely. And,
At a game.
I played Smash growing up. That was the game that kind of drove me to be involved in games in a bigger deal. And I'd sit there and work my mechanics in Melee by myself in a closed room, right? I actively want a better training client in this game so that I can just go in there and just try stuff and just do stuff and be like, oh, what if I do this, right? Like today is the first time I ever grappled a player with Pathfinder. And dude, you like kick them in the face. You pull yourself or pull them to you or kind of halfway and punch them in the face, and it's awesome. And that's cool. And there's a lot of different things you can do. And it just, there's a drive to improve, which is something that I think a lot of people are feeling that, frankly, in Overwatch, sure, you can get better at shooting stuff. You can get better at aiming your missiles, but your actual movement isn't as complex as this game. I think that's really cool. But we do have to do shout outs. So Kala, we'll start with you.
Thanks for having this conversation and inviting me to the podcast. And like I said, if there's anyone who hasn't given this game a shot, I definitely suggest you do so. And nice talking with you, Zoya, as well. And everybody who has been supporting me on my Twitch channel. Between going from Heroes of the Storm to this game, I cannot express how thankful I am that people will follow me to a new title. And I'm just very excited for what this journey has. And even if I'm only playing this game for a couple weeks, it still just makes me really happy to see that people are willing to give it a shot with me. So thank you guys.
Yeah, man. Zoya?
Shout out to Respawn for one of the greatest week 1 launches I've seen of a game in a long time. Just like from across the board, from marketing to, there was several issues and bugs going on, but this is an incredible launch. We're only 1 weekend, guys. That's the crazy thing. It's been 1 week. So shout out to Respawn. Check out our D&D show, TownHall, or not TownHall, Roll Need, the classic WoW adventure. We film every week. If you like Dungeons and Dragons and you like World of Warcraft, we're playing World of Warcraft and Dungeons and Dragons. Come check it out.
For me, plain and simple, shout out to you guys for hopping on to talk about this game with me, and shout out to everyone for tuning in. Not going to promise this to be a weekly show by any means at this state in time, but I do want to continue playing this game and doing podcasts as often as it makes sense. It's going to be very exciting to see what happens with Season 1. We'll definitely, as soon as there's news on that, I think that's when we'll be doing the next episode of this show to talk about Season 1 and what that's going to bring to the game and so on and so forth. As esports evolves, that's obviously always a focus of mine, so we'll see where that goes, coverage, and so on and so forth. Is something I'm always down to do. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Check out Roll Need, like I said. And GG's. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time.
See ya.